Toronto is a major city in Canada. It is the capital of the province of Ontario and is the most densely populated city in Canada with a population of 2,615,000. This makes Toronto the fourth most populated city in North America. Toronto's population is composed of 49.9% of foreign-born people, making it the most diverse city in the world. This figure is projected to increase to 63% by 2031. Every year, over 100,000 immigrants arrive in Toronto. There are currently 140 different languages spoken by people in Toronto, with over 30% speaking a language other than English at home. The most common ethnicities in Toronto are as follows: English 12.9%, Chinese 12%, and Canadian 11.3%. The major issues facing the city of Toronto today are as follows: aging infrastructure, blizzards, economic inequality, heat waves, infrastructure failures, lack of affordable housing, overtaxed, underdeveloped, unreliable transportation system, rainfall flooding, and social discohesion. Currently, 1/4 of all children and 1 in 5 adults living in Toronto live in poverty. It is a city of two extremes. On one hand, Toronto is ranked as one of the most livable, prosperous, and competitive cities in the world. On the other hand, it is a city deeply divided into wealthy and poor neighborhoods. This has led to an increasing need in social housing in Toronto and also leads to social discohesion due to many people living in poverty. The majority of social housing in Toronto is found in the middle ring suburbs. This middle ring is exposed to issues such as poverty, lack of grocery stores, hospitals, community centres. Over time, the community is exposed to challenges due to loss of opportunities for people residing in the area. In these areas, the affordable housing supply has not kept in line with demand. However, a large proportion of the affordable housing in these areas are in poor condition. Currently, 1 in 4 Toronto households spend more than half of their income on housing. There are large waiting lists for these affordable housing in which some people have to wait 12 to 15 years before they are allocated accommodation. This leads to communities which are not socially cohesive. In terms of economic loss, the poor state of housing has an adverse effect on the people's physical and mental health. This in turn contributes to lower employee morale and absenteeism in the workforce. Improving the condition of housing in this area will improve the social conditions of the people living in the city and improve economic output. The City of Toronto plans to add over 1,000 new rental units per year over the next 10 years. Also, the Toronto Community Housing Corporation is aiming to revive existing housing stock in the middle ring suburbs. Toronto Community Housing Corporation has developed plans to replace and refurbish thousands of homes badly in need of repair. It gains the capital needed to replace deteriorating houses by selling development rights to private sector partners who build new market housing in the same community. Regent Park is Canada's oldest and largest social housing project and is currently undergoing a 15 to 20-year revival process. The suburb is known for high crime rates, poor social conditions, and physically isolating infrastructure. In 2005, Toronto Community Housing Corporation initiated a process of redevelopment in partnership with private developer Daniels Corporation to transform the neighbourhood into a mixed-use community project. Currently, Regent Park no longer consists of social housing units. Instead, the residential makeup will be roughly 70% market rate units and 30% social housing units. This physical transformation is also facilitating the social integration of old and new residents to ensure a cohesive environment for all Regent Park residents. The social integration element is part of the Neighbourhood Social Development Plan, developed by Toronto Community Housing, the City of Toronto, local residents, and social service providers. The impacts of this revitalisation project are increased supply of affordable housing in the area, revitalisation of the middle ring suburbs of Toronto, collaboration between the public and private sectors, improved social cohesion in the community, increased economic output in the workforce, smaller units being provided to existing owners in the community, relocation costs for existing residents having to be paid by the developer. Sydney can learn from Toronto and the Regent Park Revitalisation Project. By following a similar plan, Sydney would be able to build a neighbourhood in which Indigenous and non-Indigenous communities can live in one area and improve the social cohesion between them. This will promote multiculturalism and foster a collaborative environment in which people from different backgrounds and socio-economic statuses can live together and connect with each other. It also addresses Sydney's social housing shortage by building more units.